How do you stop a desert from swallowing an entire ecosystem? I mean, it's a massive existential question, right? As our global climate shifts, more and more arable land is facing the very real threat of just turning to dust. It's a creeping crisis. But what if I told you the fight against this global threat is being waged right now, and not with billion-dollar mega machines, but with incredibly smart, super low-tech solutions? Just take a look at the stark reality of the Lost Plains watershed down in Baja California, Mexico. What you're seeing is this fragile, crispy thorn scrub landscape that spends most of the year literally just holding its breath, waiting for seasonal rain. It's beautiful, sure, but it is right on a knife edge. If that balance tips, this vibrant, albeit dry, ecosystem could become completely barren. So today in this explainer, we're exploring reversing the desert, the Baja blueprint for global climate resilience. Because the San Juan de los Plains region is quietly becoming a heroic blueprint for saving our planet's drylands, and honestly, the methods they're using are absolutely fascinating. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the threat of desertification, then look at nature's infrastructure, NIDS. From there, measuring the water budget, regenerating the ecosystem, and finally, community and global impact. Section 1. The threat of desertification, a thirsty landscape. 28.1 centimeters. To put that into perspective, that is a staggeringly low amount of average annual rainfall. Now, when you couple that tiny bit of water with a growing human population and increasing agricultural demands, well, you get a serious problem. The underlying aquifer, that hidden reservoir of water beneath the ground, is being rapidly drained. It's exactly like having a tiny checking account and constantly overdrawing it. And that constant overdrawing leads us straight to desertification. Now, this isn't just about things getting a bit dry. We're talking about a complete structural collapse of the land. See, when groundwater declines and livestock overgraze the area, the vegetation just disappears. And without those roots to hold the earth together, severe erosion kicks in. It creates this cascading effect that strips the landscape bare, pushing a sensitive, living ecosystem right past a tipping point into a barren desert. Moving on to Section 2. Nature's infrastructure, low-tech lifelines. To combat this crisis, local ranches are implementing something called NIDS, which stands for Natural Infrastructures in Dryland Streams. Now, I know that sounds highly technical, but the concept is actually beautifully simple. These are human-made structures built from natural earth and materials right in the dry stream beds. Basically, think of them as deliberate speed bumps for vital rainwater. So how do these speed bumps actually work? Well, first, when that rare rain finally falls, the NIDs slow down the rapid, destructive runoff. Second, because the water is moving slower, it has time to actually infiltrate and soak into the land. It allows the earth to drink, rather than just letting the water wash away. Third, this retained moisture lets thick, rich soils form, which actually sequesters atmospheric carbon. And finally, all that new green growth and surface moisture physically lowers local air and surface temperatures through a process called evapotranspiration. Now, what's really interesting here is the visual contrast. I mean, look at it. We are talking about basic sandbags and rock gabions, literally just wire cages filled with local stones. But the profound ecological impact we just talked about, carbon sequestration, cooling the air, recharging aquifers, is being driven by these incredibly simple, low-cost structures. It proves that fighting climate change doesn't always require some complex silicon chip. Sometimes it just requires moving some rocks. Let's head to Section 3, Measuring the Water Budget, the Science of Regeneration. Because while rocks and sandbags are simple, actually proving their effectiveness requires rigorous science. And that's where groups like the USGS and Innovaciones Alumbra step in. To truly understand if these NIDs are working, scientists use what's called a paired watershed approach. It's a classic, rock-solid scientific method. They monitor a control area, so a baseline stream with no NIDs where water just runs off rapidly. Then they compare it directly to a similar treatment area where NIDs have actually been installed. By measuring both at the same time, they can calculate exactly how much extra water is infiltrating the ground thanks to those simple stone speed bumps. And this brilliantly illustrates the boots-on-the-ground reality of that science. USGS and Innovaciones Alumbra staff are out there physically monitoring groundwater wells, capturing continuous climate data, tracking precipitation, and measuring exactly how the underground aquifer responds when the NIDs hold the water back. They are building a literal water budget for the entire region. But hey, it's not all just tape measures and clipboards out there. They're also bringing in some serious high-tech gear. Researchers are using ground-penetrating radar to map the depth of the bedrock hidden beneath the sand. They've installed meteorological stations, and they're even using remote sensing to estimate evapotranspiration and document changes in vegetation all the way from space. It's this perfect marriage of low-tech conservation and high-tech verification.
Section 4. Regenerating the ecosystem, flora, fauna, and farming.
Guided by research from groups like the San Diego Natural History Museum and ProNatura Norwest, we can actually see the direct results of all this. When you slow the water down and let the earth drink, that crispy thorn scrub totally transforms, and the wildlife just rushes back. We're talking gray thrashers returning, beautifully colored whiptail lizards skittering through the brush, and a huge resurgence of endemic Cape lowland plants that literally don't exist anywhere else on Earth. Even local bee populations bounce back, which, as we know, is absolutely vital for pollinating this newly rejuvenated, rich green habitat. But keeping this ecosystem healthy isn't solely about water. It's also about holistic human stewardship. Take Rancho Cacachilas, for example. They aren't just building nides out there, they are integrating holistic livestock management. That means they carefully rotate where cattle graze so the land is never overtaxed. They use permaculture, composting, and even sustainable trail development. It's really about finding a way for humans and agriculture to thrive with the landscape rather than at its expense.
And that brings us to Section 5, Community and Global Impact, a blueprint for the world.
Let's be real, none of the science matters if the local community isn't invested, but they absolutely are. At the Caminos del Agua Water Festival, over 115 local students participated. They got hands-on experience with DIY rain gauges, learned all about aquifer recharge, and even used virtual reality to understand environmental health. These kids are actively being empowered to become the next generation of watershed stewards.
So, the crucial point is this. The ultimate goal of all these tasks, studies, and community festivals is to establish a center of applied dryland water studies. The big vision here is to take these local, hard-won miracles, the absolute proof that simple earthen structures can reverse desertification, and export that knowledge to a world facing growing climate crises. Baja is literally writing the playbook for dryland restoration everywhere.
Which leaves us with a pretty powerful thought to take away from this explainer. We just saw how strategically placed sandbags, rocks, and a little bit of community stewardship can literally stop a desert in its tracks and bring an entire watershed back to life. It definitely makes you wonder, if a solution that simple can have such a profound global impact, what incredibly simple, low-tech solutions might be waiting to be uncovered to solve the environmental challenges right in your own backyard? Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. Keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.